Now let's just look at another concept, which is the issue in justifying the training cost. So first of all, just do a little bit of brainstorming. The money that you spent on training, should it go to the expense side of the books or the investment side of the books? So take a moment and just think that whenever the cash flow is showing the training cost, usually people call it training cost. So where should we place it? Generally, it is placed in the expense part, or you can say good expense. But the problem is that if it's an expense, it should be reduced, because the basic idea of the business is that they need to make money, and especially in the time of recessions and in times of financial crunch, people try and decrease their expenses. So sometimes you also decrease the training expense. But if you put them in the investment side, the finance people or the accounting people, they will be asking you for the return on investment. So how do HR people justify the cost or the investment that they're doing on training? Now, the biggest question for the HR people is to how they should justify the training cost. For example, if they are trying to convince their top management or the other people that training is good for the people, so how should they do it? So let's just try and understand it on our Excel analysis sheet. Okay, this is our sheet of the data, but the idea is that first we need to understand a few things, few important data points, because otherwise we will not have an idea that how we can justify the cost. So this is simply the employee ID, the serial number. This is important, which means that the cost of the training is $3,000 or 3,000 rupees or whatever. So 3,000. Now the HR is trying to spend 3,000 for this one person. Another data to understand is that the person is taking $20,000 or 20,000 rupees as a salary, which means it is on a monthly basis. Now, the other important data points to understand are, first of all, this one. This is the productivity of a person per month, which means the person is taking 20,000 salary and he or she is producing 215 units before the training. T1 is the time one, which is pre-training, and post-training is T2. So let's do not confuse ourselves. 20,000 rupees is the amount of money that person is taking, that employee, and 215 products the person is making. So if you simply divide this 20,000 with 215, you will get the cost per unit or the labor rate per unit before you give the training to that person. So that is 93.02 rupees or dollars per unit. So this is how much this person is costing you in the form of labor cost per unit. Now, what is happening is when you give him or her the training, then you again collect the data, which is T2, which is post-training. So what is happening now? After the training, the person started making 255 units per month. So this data is before the training, and because now they have improved some skills or something, now they have started making more units in the same time. And you can also see that we're not going to change the salary will remain the same. Only through the training, the person will start making more units. So when the person will start making more units within the same salary, so now we will divide 20,000 with 255, which will give us this cost, which is the labor rate unit after the training. Now it is 78.43. Now what is happening here is that the cost of the per unit labor cost was 93. Now it has reduced to 78.43 technically. So how much are we saving? So we have started saving 14 rupees, 14.59 rupees per unit. This will additionally give us, let's say, 583 rupees of saving, or the total improved labor cost per person. So that means in the same salary, person has started producing more, and eventually the labor rate has also come down. Now this is happening in a few cases. It's not happening in a few cases because people are not improving, or the training might not be helpful. But you can see here that some trainings are helpful. Now, this is the way of convincing your top management that training will eventually affect. Now, in other terms, how can we calculate the ROI? So just to make it simple, the total cost of the training to all the employees, the 19 employees, is 57,000 rupees or dollars. And how much are we saving is 10,000 rupees, 10,087 rupees or dollars. How do we calculate the ROI? So what you will say is that you're going to divide this value, which is the total cost, with the total benefit that you're getting, or the improved labor cost that you're getting. So in about 5.65 months, because all these values are on monthly basis, in 5.65, or let's say 6 months time, you will be getting this much money back in the form of ROI. And then after that, it's going to be all profit. So this is how then you actually technically justify your top management or the finance people that training might be good for your employees and for the overall health of your organization. So this is how you can calculate training, but you need to have the data from your previous trainings, and also you need to collect data at T1, which is the time 1, and T2 for the improved labor cost or improved labor rate, or how much units people were making. You can also link it to like customer satisfaction, that at T1 customer satisfaction was, let's say, 80%, and after you gave the training of communication, now it is, let's say, 90%. So there's a significant growth in the customer satisfaction rate, which will eventually give you room to retain those customers and make more profits. So this is all about from this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.